Charles Guy, who is President and CEO of Standard Life, who will provide his perspective on the value of advice and on the role advisors are playing in an evolving financial services industry. As you may or may not know, Standard Life's head office is in the United Kingdom, where regulators and reforms such as the banning of commission have already been introduced. His company there has experienced firsthand the impact of enhanced disclosure on fees, the fee structure and performance amongst other charges. We certainly are looking forward to Charles's insights and the lessons he has learned. Charles, please come to the podium.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure for me to be here this afternoon. Just a technical point before I start. During the presentation, I'll mention many times that I'll refer to advisors, understanding it's not only advisors in the room. And it's the first time that I speak in front of the members of Advocis, so I'm really pleased again to be here. And hope you don't mind the presentation, it's mostly in French. No. Just joking. Okay. I will say off the top that Advocis plays an increasingly important role in the financial services industry, especially at this time when many savers and investors remain wary of financial markets and their own financial future. Your mission to provide a platform of knowledge, advocacy, community, and protection to the professionalism of financial advisors and planners in the best interest of the consumers has never been timelier. Over the next 40-45 minutes, I would like to touch on 3 topics. The first one is sharing a bit about Standard Life, understanding it's not everybody who knows Standard Life maybe that well. Second topic will be evolution of our regulatory system and the value of advice. And third topic will be the need to fight financial inertia, which I will describe toward the end of the presentation. So many of you, I know, some of you I don't, so if you don't mind, I'll take just a few brief moments to describe a bit about myself. So I've spent the last 20 years of my career in the financial services industry. Started as a fixed income trader, but rapidly moved to the retail side of the business, working several years as an investment advisor at RBC Dominion Securities. At heart, I would say that I'm a retail guy. I moved then into the business development at Fidelity Investments before joining National Bank in 2001, where I spent 11 years in various senior wealth management roles, including strategy, marketing, and president of National Bank Securities and Altamira Investments. I joined Standard Life about 2 years ago in January 2012. My 20-something months at Standard Life have been very instructive and eventful. The financial services industry in Canada, and indeed throughout the world, is going through major changes following the financial crisis of 2008. Volatility and uncertainty, historically low interest rates, and increased capital requirements have changed the landscape. These changes continue to impact consumers, advisors, financial institutions alike, including Standard Life. Since not all of you again know Standard Life, I'll also take a few moments to describe more of Standard Life, which is truly a great organization, I would say, in Canada and on a global basis as well. Every day since I've joined the company, 2 things keep striking me. Our great heritage that we have in Canada and worldwide, and the quality of our people. So if I take the first one, on our great heritage. You may not know, but Standard Life is turning this year in 2013 180 years old. So we have been established the first life insurance company in Canada in 1833, long before the Confederation itself. On a global basis, Standard Life started in 1825, and we will be celebrating our 200th anniversary in 2025, which is quite a long accomplishment in terms of human years. Something we are already preparing for. What is the industry in the financial sector will look like in 2025? What will consumers will need and look for? What will be the role in technology in 12 years down the road? It will probably be a lot different from what it is today. In many ways, over the years and around the globe, Standard Life pioneered the financial services industry by helping people look forward to their financial future with confidence and optimism. Customers and innovation have always been an important driver for us. Second, the great quality of our people. So everybody keeps telling me on a daily basis the great expertise that they find within Standard Life and our people, and especially how much our people care in every sector of the organization. Caring about the customers, caring about doing what's right the first time. This is a competitive advantage that I'm very proud of, and it is very hard to replicate. Following our demutualization in 2006, Standard Life is now a publicly traded company on the London Stock Exchange. The company has evolved quite a lot, shifting from a more traditional life co-business model to become a global leading pension and investment management company. The company headquarters is in Scotland in UK, and we have activities in UK, of course, in Canada, Europe, Asia, India, and now Dubai. We are number one in pension and in retail wealth in the UK, but our biggest success story resides in Standard Life Investment, now being a global leading investment money management firm with more than 300 billion of assets under management around the globe, including the United States. For Canada, we represent Standard Life's largest operation outside of the UK market, generating roughly 25% of its overall profit. Our Canadian head office is in Montreal, and we also have 7 regional offices across the country, and we have a truly national footprint business. Similar to what happened in other parts of the globe, our Canadian strategy and business model has continued to evolve over time, adapting to both the financial markets environment and its customer needs. Our strategy is clear and simple. We focus on what we do best. 3 clear business lines, the first one being group savings and retirement, where we compete head-to-head with the big 3. Group insurance, where we have recognized strengths in absence and disability management, and also with our best-in-class health and wellness program for employers and their employees. 3, the retail investment, where we have a leading seg fund franchise in Canada. We have been number 1 in net sales over the last 2 years. And this has always been core of our strategy, and we continue to put a lot of effort to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve and ahead of your needs. Our retail offering also include term funds, annuities, and what I would call our re-emerging mutual fund business, for which I believe we have been punching below our weight over the last few years, but on which we're now putting a lot of energy to bring to Canada much more of the great global money management capabilities that we have with Standard Life Investment. In all of our businesses, we like to position ourselves as the alternative of choice, the one player in Canada that brings thought leadership and innovation to the marketplace, the one with a personalized approach and a great customer service, the one that is truly making a difference. In everything we do, we must challenge the status quo in the current financial inertia, providing advisors and investors the financial educational tools they need to take action and move forward better. We believe that customer needs should be at the center of everything we do and why we do it. This is what a customer-driven organization is all about. That starts with a good proximity and understanding of the current and future needs of the customers, then developing the right financial tools, the platforms, and the solutions they need to look forward to their financial future with confidence and optimism. We believe that great people can truly make a difference in terms of expertise, creativity, and care. This is a belief we'll cultivate every day by creating a better workplace for our people in order to attract, develop, and retain the right and the best talent. And lastly, we believe in the value of advice provided by independent advisors. We are proud to say that we don't own any captive distribution, which directly links our success with yours. This is in this spirit that we want to continue to develop a true partnership with each retail advisors and all other business intermediaries. And this is why we became a major sponsor of Advocis in 2012. Overall, our business strategy has produced the desired sales and financial results too, including record sales, record AUA, and record profits for 2012, while de-risking our business and our balance sheet. Standard Life Canada is as strong and vibrant as we have never ever been before. We are prepared to face the changes and the challenges that face the financial services industry in the years to come and take advantage of the opportunities in front of us with you, the advisors. So, second section. Many of those opportunities are created by change, the kind of transformational change that our industries have seen over the past 5 years. Since the 2008 financial crisis, consumers have remained wary of markets and in many cases paralyzed. And the various financial scandals around the globe have not helped. Part of the public has lost confidence in the financial services industry and in the financial markets. Add to this the important financial literacy gap in Canada. Only 20% of Canadians claim to have confidence in their math and money skills as they relate to planning for a secure financial future. So we understand the public's reluctance to move forward. These are issues I know Advocis is actively trying to address. So are we at Standard Life. Of course, this is all happening in a rapidly changing regulatory environment impacting the way we deal with consumers. I'm talking here about recent changes and ongoing amendments to National Instrument 81-101 that mandates improved transparency and disclosures requirement for mutual funds, as well as 31-103 regarding disclosure of performance and fees. And of course, I'm also talking about the proposed introduction of National Instrument 81-407, which would ban embedded commissions and trailer fees from mutual funds. 81-407 would be an important structural change in our industry. If it's implemented, it will require the financial services industry to adapt to a greater extent to a fee-based compensation business model to replace the traditional commission and trailer fees. It would also change the structure and pricing of most of our investment products. The main concern about these proposed changes, however, could discourage consumers, especially small investors, from seeking professional advice to help them build their financial plan and select and manage their investments. So let's have a look at what is currently happening in the UK market, as Chris said at the beginning, because you have quite an experience on that front. The retail, take a bit of water if you don't mind. So the Retail Distribution Review in the UK, otherwise known as RDR, applies to all financial services companies and came into effect in January 2014. The aim of the regulatory change was threefold. One, to introduce a higher standard of professional qualifications for financial advisors. Second, to remove commission bias from the system. And three, to add transparency on pricing. All these things in a bid to increase consumer trust and credibility in the industry. In the UK, these measures were introduced for all financial investment products all at once. The new regulation has had a big impact on financial advisors' business model and how they communicate their compensation with their clients. It banned advisors from receiving commissions on financial product sales from products provider and forced them on charging explicit fees for advice and service to consumers. The impact on in-house and independent financial advisors has been important. Although the regulatory changes were well-intentioned, the result was a significant disruption that impacted the entire UK financial services sector. There was an initial exodus of more than 20% independent advisors and almost 44% of bank advisors. But keep in mind also that in the UK, the banks have been relatively less active and serious in the retail wealth management side of the business than what we have here with our own Canadian banks. By mid-year, there was some improvement in new registration, but the situation is recovering very slowly. For the UK consumers, the impact of the change in the structure of fees appears to be mixed. In the past, advice and service were part of embedded commissions that consumers paid on transactions. Some commentators, like the head of the British Banking Association, have decried the impact of the exodus of advisors, which has led to an advice gap for those consumers not willing to pay or able to pay for advice. However, by mid-year, at least one study showed that the changes of the regulatory regime actually contributed to increased confidence, with 57% of advisors stating they thought the changes were contributing to a greater consumer confidence in the financial services. Our UK colleagues worked hard during 2012 to ensure that our business made a smooth transition to the new regime for customers, for advisors, and for the company. being the first major provider to implement RDR well advanced in the regulatory deadline. We did so by providing extensive support to financial advisors and their transition as they transition their business model. So, as we also took the opportunity to make our products charges clearer and more explicit. Now, the question of whether to ban embedded commissions is now being considered in Canada. Many in Canada believe that the UK-style reforms are not appropriate here, and we understand their concern. Canada is different. The context is different, and over the recent years, both our regulatory regime and the industry business model have evolved. So we're not starting at the same place. First of all, the non-embedded fee-based business model has been around for quite a long time, especially in the IROC sector, and has continuously been gaining ground over the last decade. F-shares are now even available for seg funds. This opens the door to a different way of charging fees to consumers. Then, the industry have been working with the regulators toward greater disclosure and transparency for many years. This has led to reforms like point-of-sale disclosure, which has been real perceived value added to the consumers. The CRM regulation, which is now being rolled out, brings more transparency and disclosure. In fact, it brings them to, let's say, another level. So we question whether changes to mutual fund fees presented in 81-407 would really improve the situation for small investors, or if it wouldn't, instead keep them away from professional advice and service that they really need. We strongly believe in the value of advice and that the positive impacts of advice is having on savers and investors. Study on value of advice conducted by Ethics since 2010 clearly demonstrate that investors with a history of taking advice from professionals are net winners when it comes to building assets, especially compared to people who don't seek advice. The Ethics studies concluded that advice has a positive and significant impact on financial assets. Greater savings discipline acquired through advice plays an important role in accumulating wealth. Advice positively impacts retirement readiness, and having advice is an important contributor to levels of trust, satisfaction, and confidence in financial advisors. Such high level of trust are strong indicators of value. The study further concludes that the longer the advice relationship between a consumer and an advisor lasts, the greater the positive impact on the consumer's ability to accumulate wealth. In other words, investors who are advised do much better than passive, non-advised investors. These are important findings, and we should all keep this in mind. We cannot afford to do anything that would discourage Canadians from reaching out for advice, savings, and investing. Financial education, financial planning, and investing advice must be available to all consumers, large and small. There should be no disincentive to giving advice or taking advice because it is the small investors who can end up being hurt. So given the increasing degrees of disclosure and transparency required by Canadian securities administrators, the CSA, over the past decade, there is much less obvious reason to ban embedded commissions outright versus what they have done in the UK market. As long as the customer know in advance what they are paying for and that they understand the short and long-term cost in percentage and in dollars of what they buy and the benefit that they are paying for through embedded commissions, especially for small investors. The reality is that embedded commissions have been a great way to ensure that small investors, in particular, get access to professional advice and service that they need. Again, there is a relatively high risk that banning embedded commissions from investment products could limit access to advice and guidance, consequently, potentially less wealth accumulation for them. That being said, there are lessons to be learned from the UK experience. In particular, I'm referring to the manner in which the ban is applied. In the UK, they banned embedded commissions on a blanket basis, covering all financial and investment products, not just mutual funds or single products. In Canada, the focus is on mutual funds because it is the largest segment in the market. Whatever happens, the reform that we are considering should probably apply to all products to avoid product selection bias and to make it simpler for the investors. It would ensure an equal level playing field for everybody. At Standard Life Canada, we're not sitting back and waiting for change to happen. We are already taking initiatives to educate consumers while supporting independent financial advisors. Furthermore, we believe products and services for both business models, both the fee-based and the commission-based models. Advisors and customers will therefore have a choice with Standard Life as long as the regulation permit both compensation models. So we continue to improve our financial literacy program and tools. We will also continue to work closely with the Industry and Advisors Association to continue refining the current business model with 3 objectives in mind. 1, serving the best interests of the investors. 2nd, adapting to the new regulatory trends. And 3rd, continuing to build a sustainable industry. On a last note on the matter of commission, we would recommend that platforms provider and advisors get ahead of the curve and adopt a fee-based business model sooner rather than later. The combination of choice and transparency has always been a clear winner in the consumer mind. In everything we do, we advocate that for I would say, a well-defined framework, but in which we need to have the necessary flexibility so each individual can choose what fits best for them. That's why we believe that the current point of sales disclosure and CRM initiatives represent what the industry needed the most. However, we question the need to take it another step further. My last section. For consumers, achieving their financial goals can be difficult. I alluded earlier to the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. This period has changed a lot of things. Today, we live in a world of complexity, abundance of information, and uncertainty about the economy and the financial markets. Faced with this, people don't know what to do, so they tend to ignore, stagnate, postpone, and procrastinate. It affects everyone, both individual investors and businesses, but to different degrees. The result is what we call at Standard Life financial inertia. It slows down savings and investment decision-making, and it's a growing problem for Canadian consumers, especially for the middle and higher income earners, who end up, in many cases, not saving enough for their retirement. In light of this, Standard Life wants to fight financial inertia. The status quo should not be an option anymore. The goal we set to ourselves is to help Canadians look and move forward to their financial future with confidence and optimism. We want to eradicate financial stagnation by empowering consumers and advisors with innovative tools, products, and services to help Canadians get moving and take responsibility for their personal finance. To help us better understanding their decisional drivers, we decided to explore Canadians' mindset about their personal finance and investments. What's motivating them, what's stopping them from savings and investing. In doing so, we can help Canadians and their advisors start a different kind of conversation in order to move towards their financial goals. We have been working closely with Environics Research to learn more about investor psychology in order to help investors break through their inertia and get moving once again. Our market research built in a series of questions about investor confidence, and we are able to identify 5 investor profiles, not based on what I would call the typical classification like financial assets, risk tolerance, or time horizon, but rather on attitude and behaviors. By filling a short questionnaire with their advisors, an investor is classified into one of the 5 motion profiles, which for each profile describes the behaviors and attitudes of customers when it comes to savings and investing. The questionnaire will help advisors identify where the client stands in a range of knowledge and propensity to save and invest. It will tell you, the advisors, whether a potential client is concerned about investing, but avoiding the issue, whether they feel okay but passive about their financial situation, or whether they are already a sophisticated investor. This questionnaire and the accompanying motion profiler are now available on our website for everyone. And for you, the advisors, we have developed tools to help you speak the language that fits each profile. These tools will help you convince the contented but passive investor to avoid fads and take a long-term view, for example. For more confident investors who consume a lot of financial information, it will help you engage them in a discussion leading to a consensus about the direction they should take with their portfolio. With the right information in hand, advisors can tailor their approach to start a new conversation with their consumers and to take advantage of them toward building their long-term savings in a way that is meaningful to each and every one of them. At Standard Life, we want to fight financial inertia, and we believe that we can do it with you. We want to get people moving again, planning for their financial future and investing in the best solutions that will help them build their financial goals once again. Our financial inertia program is truly a different way of interacting with clients and prospects. We encourage you to explore our financial-inertia.com site and engage in a new dialogue with your clients and prospects. To conclude, it's important to remember that market environments and regulatory regimes change constantly. We need to change with them and adapt our business model in consequence. Consumers, advisors, financial institutions like Standard Life must work in partnership to ensure that consumer financial goals can be met at all times. We believe in the value of advice, and this value has been proven more than once over time. Furthermore, we believe that you are the right avenue to deliver that advice and that value to the consumers. We will continue to build our relationship with you in Canada, not just a strong relationship, but one that is easy, predictable, beneficial, and responsible. That is important in a world that is increasingly uncertain. It takes great partners to move forward with confidence and optimism. That is true for your clients, it's true for you, and it's true for us at Standard Life. So thank you very much. I would have liked to stay for the whole afternoon and be there in the morning, but I have a flight to catch back to go to Montreal and continue to work. So I hope that you will have a great end of the day and that the industry will continue to progress in the right direction. Thank you very much.